Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Wednesday webinar recording. My name is Ryan. Joining me are Lisa Kidder and Mark Cooper. We all are from the ITRC, and we'll be talking about resources for teaching assistants today. So here's an overview of today's session. First of all, I'll tell you a bit about the ITRC, including, of course, what the acronym stands for. Then we'll talk a little bit more about the resources that we have for you. We'll talk about what we suggest you do before your course, during your course, and after your course. And since this is a recording rather than one of the normal ones that we do each Wednesday, we've gone ahead and by the time you are looking at this on YouTube, we'll have added chapter markers. So you can come back and revisit this video throughout the semester as you're at each point throughout the semester. First up, about the ITRC. What do those letters stand for anyway? We are the Instructional Technology Resource Center. And some of us have PhDs, some of us have master's level degrees, some of us have taught for years. All of us bring years of experience with instructional technology, and we want to make sure that you and your students succeed. So what we can do is we can help you with educational technology. So tools like Moodle ISU, Zoom, H5P, Loom, which is different from Zoom, Turnitin, Proctor Free, all of these things are what we have experience teaching with and what we can help you figure out what will suit your courses and your students best. We don't have access to setting up ISU accounts or resetting your global passwords. So for that sort of thing, you'll need to reach out to the ITS service desk, who you can email at help@isu.edu. So as I said, we help you find effective approaches to teaching and learning, especially when that approach involves technology. And we have a range of resources available. So one of the ones that we have, if what we covered today isn't enough for you in your experience with Moodle, if you're brand new to ISU, this is your first semester as both a student and you're going to be a TA, we have another course. That one's called Setting Sail with Moodle ISU. It's totally self-paced. You're welcome to register for it. Email us at itrc@isu.edu and we can help you get enrolled. That would be if you want something more substantial and if you've never seen Moodle before. Otherwise, probably it would be a little more basic than what you'd want if you've been a student for a while. But you're more than welcome to check that out for yourself. We also do the Quality Plus program. If you've ever heard about that, reach out to us. We can tell you more about it. The other resources I wanted to make sure to highlight, though, were that we have a range of videos, just like this one. The other ones are also on YouTube, and we have a set of different playlists that are thematic. You can look at different topics here. If you prefer written guides, we also have a range of Tiger Tracks articles. Those are good for when you want just sort of the step-by-step process of something. And if you're someone who prefers to process things aloud, we're also always happy to have a meeting with you, any kind of consultation. So if you're in Pocatello, you can come on into the Oboler Library. We're in the basement. Anywhere you want, you can reach out to us and we can work with you on Zoom, or you can even schedule a meeting in advance or call us on the phone. And this rather busy slide includes links to all of these things. The phone number is listed in the middle. It's 208-282-5880. Our email address is itrc@isu.edu. And as I was saying, Oboler Library is where we're housed in Pocatello. You'll want to go down to the basement to room B17 if you want to meet with us in person. For our future Wednesday webinars, that big QR code in the middle will take you to a place where you can register for those. Or if you prefer just to type, you can type in short url.at/HTU and then capital S and capital T. And that will take you to that same, it's a Google slide, but it looks like a bunch of buttons. Each of those buttons you can click on to register for a future Wednesday webinar. We'll be having webinars just like this all throughout the semester, always at 2 o'clock, always on a Wednesday. So that's something you can look forward to as a graduate student who's also doing instruction this semester. So hopefully that has whet your appetite to reach out to us here at the ITRC. I cannot emphasize enough that we're here for you and that we want to help work with you throughout your range here as a student and wherever you're going to go into the future. So we want to help you become more accustomed to the sort of pedagogical thinking that you can do with technology or even beyond how you use technology in your course. Next, Lisa is going to tell us more about what you can do before your course begins.
Thank you, Ryan. So before your course begins, or as soon as you can during that first week, here are some of the things that to help kind of focus. Here's a short list. Make sure that you can edit. We're going to talk about the recycle bin. That's a cool feature. How to change your dates, rubrics, and how to get those set up for both assignments and forums, and the gradebook. So that's our short list. So let's head in. When you're in Moodle, up in the top right, you can turn editing on, and that will give you all of the teacher functions of your course. That's up by your profile picture if you've added it, or this other image that is pre-populated for you. Once you are editing in Moodle, have that turned on, you can go through and add any type of item that you want. Here's all of the tools that are available in Moodle, and you just find the one that you want. If you need more details, hover over it. Once you click on it, it will take you to a page where you can then fill out the information. Anything with the orange circle with an exclamation point is required, and then you'll just go through the items and walk through that and then save and return to course. I'm going to cancel this one because we're going to go back, because in between you also at the bottom of each section can add an activity or resource, and that will show up here. The color coding scheme, it does make sense, and you can find that at the bottom to figure out what's going on with each of those. In addition to basic simple bulk edit, in addition to simple editing, you can also do some bulk editing. So if you click on that bulk edit, which is also in that top right, it's actually in the middle section, but you can kind of see where it is on that screen. Once you click bulk edit, you will see that boxes will appear next to the items in your center section, and you can select multiple items, and you can either make them available, duplicate them, or move them, delete them all at once. If you decide that this isn't what you need to do, you can click that X that is on the bottom right. So this allows you to move items around and do some more bulk editing. This is very helpful, especially if you have a course that was 16 weeks and now it's 8 weeks, or vice versa. If you accidentally delete something, don't worry, there is a recycle bin. The recycle bin will show up once you've deleted something, and you can get to that at the top of your course. Underneath the title of your course, you will see the More option. Under that More, you can select Recycle Bin, and you can see items that you have deleted there. They remain in your recycle bin for 2 weeks. So all you need to do to restore it is to click the Restore button, and it will come back into your course. You can also delete it forever if you really want to, but this recycle bin here is to help you just in case you accidentally deleted something. We can get some stuff back, and you'll notice here that contents will be permanently deleted after 42 days. So make sure that you kind of pay attention, but there is that recycle bin. If you don't see it yet, that means that you haven't deleted anything. Due dates. Due dates are really important, and we have this cool feature under the reports that helps you fix and update the due dates for multiple assignments at the same time. You click on reports at the top of your course underneath your title, course title, and you will see a list of reports. You want the dates report. All of the items listed here are the activities in your course. We recommend you do one at a time. If you click the expand all, you can see all of your assignments, and you can go and change the dates. You can change them by picking the right month and then the date. Make sure that you also pay attention and update the year. So here's the year. That's especially important between fall and spring. You can also change the year first and then use the calendar icon over on the right, and that will take you to that month, and then you can click the date. If not, you can also just start with the calendar and click through the months and find the dates that you want. This is a nice view because if you have dates that are consistently on Sundays or Mondays or Tuesdays, that's very helpful. Once you've gone through and changed all of these dates, you'll click the Save Changes button, and then you can go down and select the next activity. We recommend you do these one activity type at a time. Get your course schedule out, and then just go through and get all of those dates updated. Now we're going to talk about some grading features. Before you start your course, there's 3 ways to grade: simple, direct, rubric, and grading guide. So what's a rubric? A rubric is basically a chart. So here's my criteria, or a table on the left-hand side, and for each level of achievement, there is a different box with a different description. You'll notice that my top one just has 2 boxes and the other ones have 4 boxes. You could do that with a rubric. But the key thing with a rubric is that every point level is described. That is the definition of a rubric. Moodle also has what is called a grading guide. And in this case, you have a criteria and then a description and then the number of points that are available for that. In this one, there's only 1 point, but you could, for timeliness, have 1 to 5 points possible, or any number on there. But in this case, you'll notice that the description is for the criterion, and then the points can vary. So, rubrics, there's a description for every single point level, and grading guide, there's a description for the criterion. When you're in an assignment, once you click on the name of the assignment, up at the top, there is the advanced grading feature. When you click on that, you can then see the drop-down menu to select either a grading guide, a rubric, or move it to simple direct grading. Simple direct grading basically is you enter in the total points. Here you can also see behind, you can edit the current form, so if you need to make a slight change in a description, and you can delete it entirely. Once a rubric is in your course, it can be reused, and we can help you with finding rubrics to be reused across activities. You can also use a rubric or a grading. You can also use a rubric or a grading guide with the forums. Same thing, you click on the name of your forum and select advanced grading, and you can see your 3 options. Please note that there are 2 grading possibilities in a forum: ratings and whole forum grading. Rubrics and grading guides are only available in whole forum grading, and you only want to use one of those options. The whole forum grading works really nicely, so we do recommend that, and then it gives you the option of creating a rubric or a grading guide or doing simple direct. If you want help in developing a rubric or refining your criterion, we'd be happy to help you and discuss those options with you as well. The gradebook. Before you start your course, or definitely within the beginning, you should set your gradebook up. At the top of your course, underneath the title, you will see the grades link. When you click on grades, you will go to the default view, which is the grader report. That looks like a spreadsheet. Under grader report, there's a little tiny arrow, down arrow, and that is a drop-down menu. And gradebook setup is where you go to set up how all of the columns add together to create the grade that you want. We have several videos about the grading book in the ITRC video library. You can go to the short URL, that's shorturl.at/lowercase a, lowercase j, capital B, capital J, capital X. That will take you to the video library, and you can search for gradebook or grades, and you can find several videos there that go into depth in terms of what the gradebook can do. Generally speaking, there are 3 aggregation methods. Natural means you add up all the points and divide by the total. That is a very common grading method. Simple weighted basically is the same thing, but we're going to communicate everything in terms of percentages. Weighted mean of grades means that we put groups of items together, like all the quizzes, all the assignments, all the research reports go into separate categories, and then they are weighted at a category level. You can see the different options. The main part is extra credit is difficult to do in Moodle if you are using a weighted gradebook. So keep that in mind. So how do you set up your gradebook? This is what we recommend. Describe your grading in your syllabus, make sure it's clear. And then if you have it all described in your syllabus, we'd be happy to meet with you and make sure that the Moodle gradebook matches what you say in your gradebook. If you'd like to try your hand, go right ahead, and then you can call us and we can triple check to make sure. You can just send us an email at itrc@isu.edu. Tell us the class and the section number. A link would be helpful, and say, can you just double check my gradebook? What we'll do is we'll look at your syllabus and we'll look at your gradebook and make sure that they match. If we have any questions, we'll reach out to you or point out some things. The key thing with your grades is to watch your grades. If at any point they don't look right, contact us. It's much easier for us to help you at that point than for you to try and fix things and for us to undo things and figure out what layered upon layer upon layer. So watch your grades. If your A student is suddenly getting a C, that's the time to call us and say, what happened to my gradebook? We'll gladly look at your gradebook. We can do that over the phone. Zoom works really nicely for gradebooks. You're welcome to drop in, and we'd be happy to go through your gradebook and make sure that the grades are what you expect them to be. We know that there's a lot of things about gradebook, so we're here to help you. Again, do not hesitate to call. So now that we've talked about the things to set up before your courses or close to the beginning of the semester as much as you can, now we're going to talk about what you should be able to do, what you should be doing during your course.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, talking about what to do during your course, and this would be the period from when your course begins, so that all the way through the 8 or 16 weeks to when your course ends. So we'll begin by talking about communicating and instructor presence. As TAs in a new online course, it's important to recognize the expanded transactional distance between you, the instructor, and your students. So if this is left unattended, this gap can result in student isolation and ultimately lead to them dropping out of your class. To mitigate this challenge, we'll explore 2 fundamental tools or resources within Moodle that you can utilize. These approaches play a pivotal role in engaging students and fostering a more connected and successful online learning experience. So beginning with announcements. Announcements are features that allow you to communicate important course information and updates to the entire class, or if you have groups set up to a specific group of students. They serve as a central communication tool within the Moodle platform. And so let's take a look at the announcements. Typically, your Moodle course shell, when you receive it, will have an announcements section already pushed in there for you. So really all you have to do is manage it. And you do that in a similar way as you would a discussion forum. However, the announcements is a one-way discussion forum where you would post these announcements. And that's what we have here in example number 2. The other communication method is the messaging system built within the Moodle learning management system. And messages are features that allow users, including instructors and students, to send private messages within Moodle to other individuals who are in the course. This tool enables a direct and private communication. So if you need to communicate privately with a student, this is a great way to send that message, then this would foster collaboration and interaction in this online environment. And in the image here, what you would do is you would go to the participant section of the Moodle course main page, go down, which would list all of the students in your class and you as the instructor or any other instructors. And you would select on that student or group of students, or you can select all the participants in the class. Then you would go down to the drop-down box, which is in the lower corner of the screen, and you would select send a message. This will bring up a pop-up box to where you can write your message and then send that to the person, people, or entire class in your course. And if you would like to learn more about how you can add instructor presence to your course, again, we invite you to visit our ITRC YouTube channel, where we did a Wednesday webinar called Where Are You in Your Online Course? Next, we're going to talk about the gradebook and how to sort it. So Lisa talked about how to set it up. Next, we're going to talk about how to use it efficiently and effectively to make the grading and gradebook experience the best to your benefit. So first, what you want to do to access the gradebook, you would simply select Grades in the Moodle course main menu. And you will see that you have a variety of different options to where you can sort the gradebook, beginning with the first option here on the left. As you select that drop-down menu, you can go to a number of different reports and pages within Moodle and within the gradebook. Next, you have the option to type in a search query to find a specific student. And you could type in their name. You can also type in their email address. And that would need to be their ISU email address that's connected with their login, their Moodle login. This next one is a drop-down menu that allows you to identify and select individual students to where you can then access their individual view within the gradebook. And finally, our last one is where you can filter by name. So just like where you search users, you can filter by name simply by selecting the letter that corresponds with their first name and the letter that corresponds with their last name. Select apply, and you'll be able to quickly and efficiently identify and go to various students in the gradebook. One thing you want to pay attention to in the gradebook are various ellipses that are sprinkled throughout the gradebook, and they give you additional information. So it allows you to sort the gradebook. It allows you to navigate to a different part of the gradebook or a different part of Moodle altogether. So one of the ellipses at the very top here is where you can sort the column. You can sort it in a ascending view, a descending view, or you can collapse the column altogether. Next is by the student's name, and you can, from here, you can access the single view for this user or the user report. And this is an example of the single view where you have the student, all of the assignments within the gradebook, and it's just another way that you can access to grade. You can also utilize from this screen the messaging system that we talked about earlier. And then, as you can see right by the individual grade, you can also access a grade analysis. And depending on the type of activity that you are grading, you can access, in this case, the feedback that you left for the students for their activity. If it's connected to a quiz, it'll give you the summary page at the end of the quiz that tells you that tells the grade and the questions that were answered correctly or incorrectly. So pay attention to those ellipses because they give you a lot of good information. You can also advise your students to do that as well. may not have the same exact thing that we're showing you here, which is the instructor view. And then let's talk about grading assignments, individual assignments. And so within Moodle, in this particular case, this was an assignment activity. If you scroll to within the instructions page, if you scroll to the very bottom of that page, you will always see a grading summary. And this grading summary provides you with a summary of the number of students who are in the class, how many submitted their assignments, how many still need grading, and the time that's remaining if you have a time element attached to that activity. And this could provide you a lot of good information in one place. You have the option to view all of the submissions, which in this case, if you click on that, it's going to provide you a comprehensive list of all the students who have submitted to the assignment, to where you can then go in and access the grade. Or you can select the other option, which is the orange grade. I'm sorry, the orange. You can select the orange button, which is to grade an individual. And from this screen, you can use a filtering system to access individual students. And so by clicking on the Change User drop-down menu, it brings you a list of all the students in the course who have submitted the assignment, and you can select them, and it'll take you directly to their submitted assignment. Again, if you would like more information on sorting and grading in the gradebook, you can access a video called Grading in the Gradebook that we did as a Wednesday webinar, simply by going again to the ITRC YouTube channel. And next, Ryan is going to tell you what you could do after the course is completed.
Great. Thank you, Mark. This section is the shortest because what you will do, basically, the main thing that you can do after your course is you'll want to submit your official final grades in the banner system. Moodle doesn't automatically speak to the official registrar version of what the grades are. So that system's called Banner, and you will do that by going to My ISU. And the URL for My ISU, in case you haven't already encountered it, is www.isu.edu/myisu. And then once you're in there, probably as a student, you've already encountered it, and you've probably seen all the different cards that they have. You'll want to look for the one that says faculty grade entry. That's where you'll be able to enter the final official grade that each student will receive. And the way that My ISU displays cards, you can change. So it might not be up at the top for your initial view, but you can organize it alphabetically and then just look for faculty grade entry. So that's what I would suggest would be the simplest way to find it if it's not easily findable as soon as you load up My ISU. So if you have any other questions, as we have said repeatedly, please do reach out to us. Our email is itrc@isu.edu, and we're happy to email with you. We're happy to have appointments with you. We're happy for you to come on down into the basement of Oboler Library and speak with us there. So thank you for your time. Hopefully, thank you for having reached out throughout the semester to us, assuming you're seeing this at the end of the semester. So thank you very much. Please make sure to look at the other videos we have here on the ITRC Video Library on YouTube. Thanks.